Hello, fabulous people. This is the Together podcast, and this is the place where Sharice and I come together to help you get it together for your everyday business life. So we hope you enjoy.
Good morning.
Hey there, Rich Rising.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one. I don't think I've heard that one yet. Rich Rising. I know everybody was doing Grand Rising for a minute.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm getting on LinkedIn. So if anybody wants to hit me up on LinkedIn as we do this, I'll be able to see you. I think it dawned on me the other day when I was doing a live directly on LinkedIn that I could have been reading the comments the whole time that we've been
going okay.
on LinkedIn. And so you live and you learn, people. You live and you learn.
Yes, so, you do. That's why you gotta go. That's why you gotta show up. You gotta go. You gotta do it. Do it. What you say? Do it scared.
Do it scared. Oh my gosh, let's talk about that. Okay, so first I'd like to give you your Christmas present, and then I'll check in with you.
Already?
Yes, already, because I'm just so excited. Because essentially, it's just that I finally got it done, and I figured I'd say it was your Christmas present. But I finally got us our own domain name for Together Podcast. So if you go to togetherpodcast.com, everybody, you will go directly to the YouTube page of all of our podcasts. So togetherpodcast.com will take you directly to our YouTube page, which is now Together Podcast. And so you can see, and I really got excited about it because we did that. I think we did one day this year, that 7 steps to get you unstuck. Do you remember we did that one day?
Yes, we did.
It was an excellent podcast. Like, I need to listen to that and listen to that again. And then I was like, I don't even know where to go to find that myself.
I know. And I'll be going through looking for stuff. I'll be like, dang.
Right? It's so good. So now everybody is able to go to the togetherpodcast.com. Again, that's togetherpodcast.com and find all of our videos. I think my assistant said that it may be a couple of videos missing because since we were talking about holiday stuff, she went ahead and posted these. And then she'll go back and pick some up. But her main date is to get them all uploaded. And then moving into January, probably by February 1st, because we're gonna take off for the holidays. That like all of the videos should be totally uploaded, and we should be totally up to date. So yes,
I love it. Thank you. That was an amazing Christmas gift.
I'm so glad.
I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I think this is a good time just to say, like, thank you for being on this journey with me as my partner. Thank you for being patient as we take a year, because I think you had told me that like a year ago, like it should have its own YouTube channel. Oh yeah, and it just never got to sit down and get it done. And then I was like, it should actually have its own domain name, because who got time searching for YouTube? So we got that together. So it is Together Podcast. We're getting it together. And I'm so excited. But anyway, how are you? How was your weekend? How's life?
Well, life is always good to be alive and moving and well. So transparently. So I had a productive weekend, but I also had an emotional weekend.
Really?
My project manager, her children lost their grandmother. And then and let me be clear, I'm just, these things have to be mentioned and acknowledged because this is real life, and this is where you still have to push through. Even though you got to show up anyway, right? And then I also have a good friend who lost her husband to a car accident. So,
oh my gosh, that is a lot.
Then I have a really, really, really close friend, who's dealing with something with his best friend brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I think, and this might be a good topic to add to But I think I broke last night. I think on some emotional, because I was, trying to console and everything. And I think some stuff boiled up from years and years and years and years and years. And it was hard because, you're consoling someone else, which is what we're always doing, therapist, therapist. It's like, how do you deal with you when you are consoling someone else? Your real life, Natalie, because I'm maintaining and consoling, and it's like, I feel it. First of all, if you cry, I'm crying. If you going down, I'm going down with you. Although I'm gonna hold you up. That's just who I am. I see you hurt, I'm gonna hurt with you, right? But there's a position that you always have to hold, like, am I the one that's supposed to console right now? And that's the life you live. You live the consoling life. That's your profession.
So everybody needs somebody. So first and foremost is make sure you have your person that you can call. And so when I have broken, and there was definitely a day this year in which I broke, and it was in the middle of the day. I was seeing clients, and the client said something, and I was like, "Oh Lord Jesus, I'm about to start crying!" Like, oh my God. And so I may have shed a tear, but I have 4 women in which I consider to be my prayer warriors. And so I sent them a text. And it was so funny because I was like, do not text me back because I cannot process this today. Like, I've got to keep working. So I cannot break down, but y'all got to pray for me because I am breaking. And it felt like, I don't know, that like wall that's holding the dam, and you like trying to keep it together, like don't crack, like duct tape over the cracks. And so that particular day, so I texted my prayer warriors, and I don't even know if they know my prayer warriors. Maybe I should send them a thank you or say, but I texted them and I'm like, y'all have got to pray for me. I'm not going to make it through the day. I cannot talk about it. I just need y'all to pray. And I feel like they did, and I was able to make it through the day. And so I think make sure you are creating your circle. So I don't know if you want to call it your board of directors, your council, your prayer warriors. I even knew one of my coaches one time who paid, PAID, for somebody to pray for her. Like that was part of her business plan, or expenses each month was to have a specific prayer warrior praying over her and her business to keep her up. And so then of course doing all of the things. So giving yourself permission and time to cry.
That right there. Ooh.
Give yourself permission and time to cry. So I see all of these people, even in therapy sessions, they'll try to keep themselves from crying. And so I joke with my clients, okay, therapy is the one place you actually get points for crying. Makes me feel like I'm doing a good job. Let yourself cry. And then even then it's so hard for people to let themselves cry. So crying is a very, very natural, like human design way of letting go of your stress and tension. And so allow yourself to cry. And some people feel like, oh, but if I stop crying, I won't stop crying. You will.
You will.
But you got to get it out.
Has to happen. Yeah, the release has to happen. I'm huge on that.
Yes.
I talk about it all the time, with my women. But it's just crazy when it shows up in you, and the strong one, right? We're always being strong for everyone. And I'm cool with it, but like you said, sometimes that thing boil up in the wrong time. I got a little bit lucky because it was overnight. You know what I'm saying? I just, I didn't want to share because I know I needed to get it out.
Yeah.
But it's you can't control it when it shows up and how it's going to show up.
Yeah. I will say though, I want people to really think about making sure you allow yourself time to hurt, to grieve, to recover along the way of life. And so what it seems to me is, just kind of being a therapist, I'll get these women in my practice every so often where they just been handling it and moving on, sweeping it on the rug, putting it in the closet and keeping it moving. Oh, I keep it moving. 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 All right. You the one that's going to cry and not be able to stop crying. Because you can't just keep it moving. So I need you to know to handle these things when they're molehills before they become mountains. And I get it. I asked one of my aunts one time, it was like over Thanksgiving. It was like one of those family moments and you just got to get wisdom. And I asked her, I was like, when did you grieve your mother? When her mother? And she was like, because we were having some deaths in the family. Yeah. And she was like, you know what? It actually took me 2 years before I could grieve my mother because she kept it moving, right?
Yeah.
Kept it moving. God, yeah. I got to do this for work, and I got to do this for church, and I got to do this for my friends, and I'm gonna help these people out over here. I'm gonna and we're gonna clean out mama's house, and we're gonna and we're gonna do all the things. And so she was just like, and so she said what actually started her grieving is she was at work, and somebody at work passed away. And then it got her to start the grieving.
It triggers.
So I'm going to say, if you can go ahead and set aside the time, give yourself permission. I know it doesn't feel good to feel those feelings. I know, but you got to feel them. The good feelings are the bad feelings are as necessary to your health as the good feelings. Like it takes them all. And so when you have something happen, you look like somebody just told me they lost their best friend. And I was like, oh, baby, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And so when you lose your best, hold on, I just lost you, Sharice. Where you go?
You did?
I did, just for a second, the screen.
Okay.
So making sure you set aside some time to grieve, or when you feel like crying, you allow yourself to cry. And I get it. If you're in front of other people, you may not want to cry then, but you then need to go home and realize, okay, I just need to let myself cry. Y'all, writing, journaling is still extremely cathartic. Yeah. It is the simplest, easiest thing you can do. You ain't got to have nobody read it. You can burn it up after you done, but you have the freedom to write whatever you want to write. So feel all of the emotions. It's okay. You're going to be mad at the person because they left you. That's a natural feeling and emotion. Then you're going to be feeling guilty because you might be feeling guilty because you're still alive. You might be feeling guilty because you're relieved that they're gone. And y'all, if you've been a caretaker of somebody, then you may be relieved that they passed away because you can now just breathe and you don't have to manage your life and their life, or you don't have to run to the hospital every single day like you were doing. So there might be some relief. And so you may feel guilt around that. So journal that. Then there are going to be days when you miss them. Then there's going to be days. So, but whatever the emotions are, whatever you're going through, you've got to allow yourself to feel them all along the way, or else you will have this big blow up and then break down, and then we got to rebuild you up, And so it's when that molehill becomes a mountain. Now it's like a volcano that's overflowing and it's about to take out the whole island. And so we let pressure off a little bit at a time. So, okay, there you go. I'm talking a lot.
That's good. That's good. And going back to, that's what the feeling good as hell formula is all about. Like, you got to face it. You got to go through those feelings that you don't want to feel to get to the feel good, because once you release. Because we hold in so much, I mean, more than we can imagine. Like we hold in the stuff that we have on this earth that's visible, and the energies of other people, but then we holding on to ancestral stuff too, that we don't even realize, and
say that.
That's why that self-awareness, like, don't know what you carrying, baby. Like, it's so much. And it's like, you know, and it's so crazy because as I speak, it's like just such manifestation because I'm taking my women through a purge right now. We're going through a purge, and people they take stuff so lightly. Now is not the time to take anything that you say, think, or feel lightly, Natalie. I done messed around and said, hey, y'all, we purge in December so we can show up light in the top of the year and do what we got to do. So we purging, right? And actually, I just decided that I'm going to go ahead and probably take that purge public. So because it's happening, like I'm living the purge, you know, and so many of them are, and people are like, oh, I want to purge clutter and limited beliefs. Limited beliefs is number one.
Right. Yeah.
And because that's why you got that clutter. Believe it or not. And that clutter is why you got the limited beliefs. So it's so much. Everything is connected. Believe it or not. Your feelings are connected to how you show up every day. Your feelings are connected to how you treat people. How you feel about yourself, how you see yourself, how you value yourself is connected to how you are attracting clients into your business. Like that self-concept is everything. And I have to say this, and then I'm going to stop and let you talk because this one runs kind of deep.
Keep rolling, girl. You're doing good. Keep rolling.
It runs a little deep. So that self-concept, that how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself, and how you value yourself is really more than you can. It's everything. It's everything because the way you see yourself is how people see you. I know it doesn't sound right, but that's what it is, believe it or not. So if you see yourself, oh, you know, woe is me. I never have this. I never get that. I never this, that, and the other. That is how you show up. Now you can pretend like you don't show up that way, and you can put the facade out there all you want, but it's there. It's in your subconscious. It's all up in it's in your belief. So believe it or not, one way or the other is showing up, right? So it's so important for you to tap into that self-awareness and understand like why am I feeling the way I feel about myself? Why don't I believe in myself? You know, why do I believe in myself in this space and don't believe in myself in that space? Why don't I feel worthy? Why can't I be consistent?
Yeah.
But it all goes back to how you see, feel, and value yourself. So that's why it's so important. Why aren't you crying? Why aren't you allowing yourself to cry?
Right. Because in the third grade, they made fun of you for crying. And you still
they made fun of you and they called you a punk and they said you was weak.
Right. And so now you as a grown 55-year-old adult still operating on what some third graders told you. That's why. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So, you know, and here's the thing. So I had dealt with a whole lot of imposter syndrome, right? My imposter syndrome was what I realized was because my work was not super tangible. Like the styling work, of course it is. But I know that styling work is just a piece of my calling, right? From the hairstyling to the image consulting, right? Yeah. That's a part of who I'm called to be. But that self-concept work is how I'm called to make a dent in the universe. You know, that's how I'm called. But even when I wrote my book, I told you how I was like feeling good as hell.
Right.
Like, what that mean?
Yeah.
I know what it means. Yeah. But what are other people gonna think it means? But it's up to me to spread the word and, you know, get the impact out there. It's up to me to believe in it enough. You know, when it comes to the self-concept, people are like, self-concept? What do you mean? You know, no, it's simply how you see yourself, how you value yourself, how you feel about yourself. And then when you ask them, they like, oh, nobody's ever asked me that. Of course they haven't. Because we're designed, we've been programmed to stay on the surface, baby. The whole program was to keep you on the surface and not go that deep.
Right.
Not realize, know, and understand that you have dominion in this earth. We are the ones with the dominion.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes in order for us to operate in that. It takes your self-awareness and to understand, I'm not moving right. So I need to really see why. How was my upbringing? What are those things that, I believe subconsciously that are holding me back and blocking me from my blessings? My best version of myself.
Yeah. And it's so interesting when you start to do the work, what comes up. Like, you're just like, wow, that affected me. That's still there. Out of all my memories, that's the one that came up when I started thinking about them.
Yep. Yeah.
And it is. And so we don't realize we're always taking in information, and it's always affecting us. It's always affecting us. It is. Yeah. And so,
and here's another thing, and I know you teach this. I know that you strategize in this space, but most people have no clue that they are managing their life or responding to life based off their past experiences. You're unhealed past experiences, because how many of us are walking around unhealed because we didn't even have the awareness to realize that we need to be healed in a space. You mad, you walking around mad.
Right. And I understand that you don't know because it happens so subtly. Subtly. And so I had a live event trauma. I put on a live event. People didn't like the name of it. And so I got a lot of flack from that. I also marketed it. This was like a sex therapy type event. I also I used a new marketing technique for me, which was direct mail to people's addresses. And I bought the list of addresses from the state to get everybody's license. And so I spent like $2,000, like mailing all of these mailers out. And people didn't like it. Some people worked at schools and they were like, how dare you send me something about sex to the school that I work at? But it was whatever their professional license address was. And so I got such just flack. Hindsight being 2020, it was really only probably about 5 people. None of having a conversation with you, but it just felt like this, oh my God, this backlash. And I did not have another live event for about 5 years.
Oh, girl. And we've got that in common.
Girl, I did, because I didn't know, I didn't realize how I had been traumatized from that event that I had. And I was just talking to somebody else and they were saying something about they were operating in their purpose and they got some backlash, like somebody didn't want it and it hurt them and shut them down. And so I'm going to challenge everybody to sit down and just think about any time that you've had some backlash, some negative responses to you operating in your purpose, to you doing something you were supposed to be doing for your business. Just write that down and see, has that impacted you about how you're feeling about your purpose, how you're feeling about your business, how you're feeling about what you're doing. So for example, me, it shut me down. I didn't know. It just felt like, no, I don't feel like doing live events anymore, or no, I just can't really get it together with live events. It was the trauma. It was a trauma, and I didn't realize that I had been traumatized. It wasn't until I was in a workshop and we were working on healing stuff that came up, and I was like, golly, so
you have a very good podcast that we talked about that a little more in depth. We got to
Yes,
find out which one that is so we
we
can make
do.
sure we title it really good.
Yes.
So people can get to that because, I had a very similar situation, event trauma and didn't even realize what had happened and was nervous knowing this is my thing.
Yeah.
And then I shut down for more than 5 years probably, and then when I kept trying. I was trying and I couldn't figure out like why I couldn't finish.
Right.
And everybody looking at me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I can't figure it out. And once I did finally do it as minimally as possible,
right,
the smallest version of it I could, it went amazing. And it's like, it broke me. It showed me everything. It was like a huge vision of what I had went.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I did not know.
Yeah.
I had no idea. My subconscious was jacked like,
right.
We ain't doing no more events. You got me bent.
Same here. Just like, I don't need to do that again. Nope. And this person I was talking to earlier this week, they don't want to operate in their purpose anymore. They know what their purpose is and they don't know how to operate in their purpose anymore. And so
that's sad. That's very, very sad.
It is very sad. And it just came from that. So let me educate on that real quick. Okay. Y'all know they say a prophet is never accepted in his own home. So know that. Also know, along with that, some of your friends and family just aren't going to get it. They just aren't going to get it and they don't have to. Okay? And so I need y'all to accept that as part of it. Because it feels like, I know I'm supposed to be doing this thing. I'm called to doing this thing. Everybody's going to love me doing this thing. Everybody is not going to love you doing the thing. And that doesn't mean that you're not called. It actually probably means that you are called. But you got to work over that hump. So I just want to make sure you guys know that. Like, you can absolutely be called and still get resistance.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
You can absolutely be called.
Some people just not going to like you because you show up and they don't.
Say that part.
They don't. Because you are in your purpose and they don't. And they don't know why they're mad. Don't like me.
Because they got mad at me because I had somebody that was just like, I was like successful in one area and they hadn't gotten there yet. And it's just like they was like mad at me or just had an attitude with me. And I'm,
oh yeah.
Okay.
I experienced that with my marriage. Like when I had got married, I had some hate show up. It was crazy. But I instantly recognized that it was an innocent jealousy that I was there and you aren't. Because I didn't deserve it because I'm out here. I wasn't looking for no husband. I was chilling, right?
Yeah.
Having a good time. And then boom.
Right.
Pop up and it's easy and it's little fairy tale, whatever. Yeah. But I was able to take that situation and evaluate it and say, oh no, this is good people right here. She's just a little jealous. She ain't worth throwing away. I've had a lot of situations with that, and I'm sure people have had that with me. Like, I hope people have said that I'm not worth throwing away, but I know for sure that I have had to evaluate some situations and not let other people get in my head. And I have to say to myself, how do I value this person? What is this person worth to me?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And y'all, let me say this. And if some people have to back away from you, let them. Because you don't know what they're going through. Because I know specifically, I remember this one young lady. She was just doing so well. She was so well. She was so beautiful. She was so cute. She was doing so well and everything. And I couldn't handle it. I could not handle it. And so I just needed to back away. I just needed to back away. I just couldn't handle it. And I felt bad for not being able to handle it. Like, You know, um, and now I'm just like, hell, I'm human. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes, and so I've been on both sides of the coin. And so if somebody's pulling away from you as you're growing, as you're succeeding, just let them go, and they'll figure it out. They'll work it out with Jesus, and then they'll come back when maybe they need to get some growth. And that's what happened with me. Like, I was just feeling so bad about my life that time, and I wasn't accomplishing anything. And I think this is right after I had flunked out of college. So when I was watching everybody else like succeed and I'm a failure over here, I just had to pull away. Let me get over here and get myself together. And then when I got myself together and was back on track, then I could re-engage with that whole friend set,
Yeah.
And so, so people pulling away from you, let them go. And I know it hurts.
Yeah.
So I also know, which is why we're gonna go back around to making sure you have your core circle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna want you to have at least 3 people in there in case one of them have to back away.
Right. Right.
I want you to have the people who you feel like are your prayer warriors / board of directors, however you want to say it. The people that you come to when you're having a business problem, or and the people you go to when you have a personal problem. And those of you who are really strong people, I'm going to challenge you to make sure you are verbalizing to the people you can trust what's going on with you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Because one of the reasons why they think you're so strong, you can handle everything, and you never falter, is because you never talk about when you're faltering. Mm-hmm. And so I think I realized that this year, when I was faltering on some things, and people were just like, "Oh, I didn't know that was a concern for you. You didn't know this was a concern for me." Mm-hmm. And apparently I'm not talking and saying anything out loud. Like, golly, you got to get better. You had no clue I was feeling like this or struggling with this or not. You would have never put me in that category. Okay. I'm not opening my mouth up. Like, I didn't think I was a secretive person. And I still don't think I'm a secretive person. But I know if you're talking about your problem, I'm probably just going to sit and listen.
Yeah.
And then because you're talking about your problem, I may not ever tell you mine. Mm-hmm. And apparently that's what's been going on. So people who are out here, and you're really strong people. I'm not saying putting your business out in the street to everybody. But if you got at least 3 really good friends, they should really know what's really going on with your heart. They shouldn't be totally surprised and taken aback if you say, "Hey, I've been struggling with this." Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. They should be like, yeah, I remember, I know you're going through that. It should be a conversation that is happening. And so I need you guys to make sure that you're giving and receiving, that you're talking and listening. Yeah. Like, in and out, it's an ebb and flow to these relationships. Yeah. Okay. I want to say more, but I'm going to digress.
I would like to lightly touch on a little bit. What can you tell us about subconscious beliefs and how they can be disserving you, like keeping you from your deepest desires, your who you really are?
Yes. So I feel like I want to bring up the iceberg picture. Have y'all all seen the iceberg picture of subconscious beliefs? Oh, because they are. It's a famous picture of the iceberg subconscious mind. I'm pull it up because this is really how we operate. And for those of you guys who are watching us, you'll be able to see it. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Because I need you to know your subconscious is running everything. And I know you think that you're making your own conscious decisions, and your subconscious is running everything. It is running everything. And so you really have to sit with yourself to know what you are thinking. Mm-hmm. All right. So for those of you guys who are on the screen or with us or live, I have it on the screen. For those of you guys who are just going to be listening later, just go online and pull up an image about subconscious iceberg. You just see it. All right. And when you see the iceberg, you will see, what would you say, Cherise? Says 20% is the conscious mind. And
Yes.
80% is the unconscious mind. It's below the water. It is running you. It is running you. It is running you. And so you really have to sit down and figure out, how am I thinking about this? How is this running? How is this affecting me?
Yeah.
And so look at your life. And if you look at your life and you say the results of my life are because of my subconscious mind, what I'm thinking unconsciously, that'll tell you what you're thinking. And then you got to work on that. Okay. As a therapist, I get to hear people all the time and talk about and it's like they have no idea what a limiting belief is. You know, this is just what I think. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I was talking to somebody and she was just like, what did she say? Something like, well, I know I'll probably just make 50,000. Okay. But you know, there's some people out here who think they're supposed to make 200,000 a year. So why does your unconscious think you're supposed to make 50,000? And you don't even realize those type of things, you know, how you show up in the world, what you believe about the world, whether you have the power to make the change or somebody else have a power to make the change. All of these are running in your unconscious all the time. And so you have to take time and think about what you're thinking about. And you have to take time and analyze your results and figure out what's driving me. What could possibly be driving me? So, okay. What else did you want me to say about that, Sharice? And just, y'all got to know. Let me say this one more time. The easiest, simplest, cheapest way to know is for you to do writing, is for you to sit down and do journaling 5 minutes, either 5 minutes in the morning or 5 minutes at night, and just see what comes up, you know, and then start looking at the results in your life and really look at what you believe about that. What do I believe about that? Okay, I didn't hit the success goal in coaching that I wanted to hit this year. Why didn't I do that? Where did I stop? Where did I falter? Where I faltered in doing the work. Okay. So I didn't do all the work that I was supposed to do. Why? Was I just busy? Was I just tired? Or do I secretly believe that I can't do it? You know, or secretly believe I'm stuck right here. One of the things that I'm working with, so I'm getting ready to go. One of the things for 2025 for me is to get my finances tight, tight, so tight. Yeah. I don't have disability insurance. I want to get disability insurance. For those of you guys who don't even know what disability insurance is and you work for yourself, please go find out. So it's disability insurance. I want to make sure that I am saving enough for retirement. It's just some things that I need to get. I need to just tighten up my finances so it's running smooth, especially since I apparently keep taking on employees. So, one of the main money things is that I've been working with is my mom. I love my mommy. But one of the things my mama used to say to me is like, you ain't happy till you broke. So that's in my subconscious. She just, because you remember when you was a little girl and you would get $1, or a little kid to get $1, and then your family would take you to the store, you get to spend your $1, and then you'd be happy because you got your thing.
Yeah.
Okay. As a kid, you don't realize, okay, I probably should have saved a little bit of that. Like maybe I should have spent 50 cents and kept 50 cents. I would just spend my whole $1. My brother probably saved some of his money. He did. Matter of fact, we got $2 bills and he put his $2 bill on the wall in the frame. I took my $2 bill straight to the store. So,
but where did that come from? Do you mind taking that
simple? It's that simple thing of my mom saying, "You ain't happy till you broke," and I was like, "Oh, I am happy when I get to spend all my money and come back home, and I'm just happy with my stuff." And so that's something that I've been trying my best to work on. And so now my confession is I'm not happy until I got $1 million sitting in the bank. I'm just not gonna be happy until I got $1 million sitting in the bank. That's it. That's it. And I've raised it Because at first I needed to say, I'm not happy till I got $100,000 sitting in the bank. I'm not happy till I got $200,000 sitting in the bank. And so keep raising it as you feel the like some things are too high for us to get too big of a jump. Like I couldn't say $100 million. I'm just not there yet. That just feels too crazy. And so you want something that stretches you, but you can see how you can get there. Like I can see how I can get the $1 million. I just got to do the work to get there. And so I can see that. So that's why I can start saying. And so those are the type of things that are running in your unconscious, your subconscious, and you may not be aware of, but they very well may be affecting you. You know, and so just start to pay attention to yourself.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. All right.
Can you take that chart down?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll back to you.
I can see you now.
Yes. All right. So, yeah.
Yeah, so,
right. We got 10 minutes left. What do we need?
Great. The subconscious work. A lot, just people understanding that what you think isn't really the truth, most likely.
And even if it is the truth, you might need to start thinking something differently so you could create a different truth for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the truth is subjective. But I've really been thinking about that, y'all. So why is it that some people are happy making $50,000 a year and some people aren't happy unless they're making $200,000 a year? And some people ain't happy unless they're making $500,000 a year. Yeah. And if you start saying, yeah, I'm really supposed to be, like, how do you orient your life if you start to say, I'm supposed to be the person who's making $300,000 a year? Yeah, how do you start orienting your life differently? What do you have to start doing differently? And if you see yourself that way, then what do you start doing differently? You know, do you start taking different classes? Do you start listening to different things on YouTube? Do you start hanging out with different people? Do you start reading different newspapers? Yeah. For y'all who probably don't bother to read a newspaper anymore, but still, like, what are you? But
we're reading and listening to something, so you should be listening to the right thing to become the person you desire to be. You've read "Becoming Supernatural" by Joe Dispenza, right? You read that book?
I don't think I read that book. I read one of his books, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did, but I thought it was that one. So you might have read. Either way. So just put a pin in that. Mm-hmm. I want to more so talk about just doing the work to become the person that you need to be, even when you declare it. Yeah. So, you know, I declare I am 100K day bae. You know, I do 100K days like it's nothing. I declare that. I insist and I command. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I decree and I declare. That's who I am. Mm-hmm. And it's been a trip becoming her.
Yes.
Because she has to have systems. She has to know who she is. She can't be operating in no imposter syndrome. She has to she got to move. Right. Like she makes $100,000 in a day.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is no mediocre nothing.
Right. Okay, so let me give you guys a really practical exercise because Sharice just actually gave us a brilliant example. And so let me make sure y'all can take this home and use it. Sit down and write down what you want for yourself. Like really think about it. Okay. So Sharice just said, I'm 100K bae, BAE.
100K day.
Bae. Okay. All right. So you're going to sit and write that down. Mm-hmm. Just kind of that confession, affirmation, whatever. And then you're going to write down all of the things that you need to have, possess, do, know to actually be that person. Okay. Then I want you to write a story about that person, like a day in their life that kind of exemplifies all of that stuff. And then you need to read the story to yourself daily. Mm-hmm. Read the story to yourself daily. So you get to know your story. You get to kind of reading the story to yourself will help you visualize it. You know, for those of us who love graphic audio books, because it's like a movie in your mind to take Audible's tagline. It's a movie in your mind, but it really is like a movie in your mind. And so that's what you want to create. You're going to write all of that in a story. So Sharice's would be like, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I have my mastermind call. I meet with my staff at 6 a.m. talking about the promotion that we're going to do today. They execute. Then I go have, what would you do next, Sharice? Breakfast?
Workout, breakfast.
Breakfast.
I'm gonna meditate, all the ritual stuff, all the morning, whatever you call it, ritual, prayer, meditation, whatever you call it.
Your morning routine.
So to stay grounded, so I can stay focused throughout the day and not get distracted. But throughout that day, yes, my masterminds, tapping into who I need to talk to get it executed. Also, I'll go back to what you said earlier, my prayer warrior. I need to make sure my prayer warrior on me for the day. You know what I mean? And I was so touched by that because one of my prayer warriors, she has transcended on. But baby, you talking about a lady who prayed, Miss Shamley. Danielle, you on here, Miss Shamley. When I tell you, she had MS, right? And so she was losing her, physical function. But I ain't never seen a mind that sharp in my life. Every time I saw her, she was like, hey, she would go down the list. How's such and such? How's such and such? How's such and such? How's such? So remember you said you were going to, how's that going? And I'm like,
I don't remember, but now that you said it, I remember.
Yes, but her mind, Natalie, is so sharp. So that was my prayer warrior. And I know she still is, one of them. And my Aunt Jackie, oh my gosh, one of my prayer warriors. So thankful for them. But I have got to assign some some people who are here with me as my prayer warriors. So tapping into them and just making sure I execute and stay focused. It's stay focused for me and no distractions. If it don't have anything to do with where I'm going, I can't.
Oh, yeah. That focus thing has been coming up a lot over the next couple of days. So I know I said my word for next year was going to be restoration, but it also might need to be focus as well. So focus and restoration, because it's been coming up a lot. So, all right, last words. What do you want the people to leave out here with today?
Lock in, get your core circle in place so you can release. That's where I want to see. Get your core circle in place so you can release the way you need to release so that you can bring in what you need to bring in. That hit hard for me today because, I've been releasing and it's like it was that boiled up release. I feel like I have space for more release. I know I do, but what just happened overnight for me was unexpected and it was triggered. By trying to, be supportive and, show up for others. And that's okay.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I want to reiterate what you're saying. Exactly. Because when you said it, I was like, that's the same thing I was going to say. But I'll add to it and say, I need you to understand that you taking care of yourself is paramount to you having the success you want to have. You do not want to be the person that finally makes it to the top of the mountain and then you had a breakdown and you got to go away for 10 years. And we've all heard of people doing that, right? Because they can't handle it because they kept sweeping it under the rug. So I don't want you to make it to the top and finally get all the success that you want. And now you breaking down and you crying. We've seen, okay, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I mean, think about the stars who seemed like they were at the top of their career and then they committed suicide. And so you cannot just keep going. You got to release. You got to put these things in place. You've got to be able to handle, process, and keep it moving so that when you finally reach the level of success that you're looking for, you can enjoy it. You can have some peace with it. And it's not, okay, I finally stopped and now everything that I done stuffed in the closet for the last 20 years is coming out on me. It's not. And so if you guys would just kind of take that on as being one of the keys to your success, or being able to enjoy your success when you get there, is processing and grieving and doing all of these things. So you're not just kicking it under the rug. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's my 2 cents. All right. We love you guys. We only have 1 week left, Sharice. And then we out for Christmas.
Before so we got to make next week good.
We do. And so next week will be next week on the 17th. And then we off for the holidays. We'll be off the 24th because that's Christmas Eve. And we'll be off January 31st. And then we'll be back on January the 7th. So we just got one more for the last year. And so, yeah. All right. Everybody go check out www.togethertogetherpodcast.com. And it'll take you straight to the YouTube channel. All right. Have a great day, people. Bye-bye.
I'm about to go right now. All right. Talk to you later.
You too.